This Seiko 5 release from a couple of years ago is one of the best value for money field watches out there. The specs and size still make this SRPG27 one of the most interesting entry-level watches on the market today. This watch is a product of Seiko's efforts to revive and renew the Seiko 5 collection, being one of the earlier launches after the Dress KX and the new SKX styled SRPD models. In this video you will get my normal review package, which consists of a detailed review, some size comparisons with other watches, and also some strap alternatives. The SRPG27 was a very welcomed introduction to the field watch options due to the large size difference of the older 37mm SNK 809 model and the 42mm SNZG13 model. This SRPG27 pretty much splits the difference and lands in the middle at 39mm in diameter. A very welcome size in my opinion, right up my alley. They also upgraded the movement from the somewhat outdated 7S26 to the 4R36 with the added features of hacking and hand winding. I'm sure most of you are familiar with this movement, and as usual it also comes with a day and date window at the 3 o'clock position. This watch is definitely a friendly size for smaller wrists. The diameter is 39mm and the lug-to-lug distance is 48. It's surprisingly thick with a 13mm thickness, partly due to the curved hardlex crystal. The lug width is 20mm. The overall design is a very traditional field watch or military watch style, which I really enjoy. Seiko have, however, decided to give some not so militaristic details to the otherwise classical design, which I will point out during this review. The SRPG27 is water resistant to 100 meters, which functionally makes it a proper field watch in my opinion. In addition to the classic design, that's a feature that I greatly appreciate in entry-level watches, since it means you don't have to worry about getting it wet. So what about the price? On Amazon you can get this watch for around $240 or 250 euros at the time of recording this video. So I'd say that's comfortably in the entry-level price category when it comes to established brands like Seiko. I included some Amazon affiliate links in the description below. Buying anything via those affiliate links is a great way to help me and my channel out without paying anything extra for it. I just earn a commission from your purchase. The watch is made in quite a variety of different colors, most belonging to the Seiko 5 Sports style collection, some in the street and some in the specialist style collections. I have to say I don't really like the categories that Seiko has come up with for the Seiko 5s. They're quite confusing and I think there's some overlap between the categories, and that just makes it all a bit unnecessary. The watch wears beautifully on my 6.5-inch wrist, and I think this is finally a Seiko 5 field watch that is a good size for all wrists. The fact that the bezel is quite wide and that there's a portion of the case that protrudes outward from the bezel means that the dial itself is quite small for a 39mm non-diver watch. This makes sure that the 39mm case does not wear larger than the size would make you expect. I'd say it wears quite true to size, in fact, maybe even a little bit smaller. With all the links, the watch weighs in at 147 grams, and with 5 links removed to fit my 6.5-inch wrist, the weight is only 127 grams, a bit on the lighter side. The case has polished sides, while the top of the case and the bezel are circularly brushed. It's nice to have drilled lug holes to make strap changes easier, since this watch is perfect for a vast variety of strap styles. The lugs curve downward quite a bit, making the fit on the wrist even better. Stay tuned, later in this video I will show you this watch on a variety of straps. A see-through case back is maybe a bit odd on a field watch, but I think it's nice to have, especially if this is your first mechanical watch. The very basic 4R36 movement can be seen through the glass, with very little decorations apart from the Seiko 5 branding on the rotor. There you can see the usual specifications with the 4R36 movement. One thing I like to mention is that the rotor winds in both directions, making the movement both efficient as well as quiet on the wrist. The stated accuracy of the in-house 4R36 movement is from plus 35 to minus 45 seconds per day. Despite the quite large interval given in the specs, most Seikos outperform those standards very significantly. And I measured how mine is doing, and during a 3-day measurement period, this one performed at plus 0.3 seconds per day, quite staggering to be honest for a watch of this price category. A very minimalistic push-pull crown is positioned at the 3 o'clock, a good gripping surface on the suitably sized crown, no branding however, which I find surprising, but that goes well hand in hand with the minimalistic style then again. But this is still surprising since Seiko 5s have started to have Seiko branding on them also. Due to the lack of crown guards, the crown is very easy to grip and operate, even with these gloves I'm wearing. The bracelet leaves quite a lot of room for improvements. It has a stamped clasp, folded end links, a bit kind of loose feeling links with the so-called fake 3-link bracelet as I've called it before. The links look like they're made of 3 pieces, but it's actually just 1 link. And looking closely at the links, it actually seems like they are also folded, although that's barely noticeable. But you can see that there's a subtle line going across the middle of the links, and that gives it away, even though just so slightly. The links are brushed on the top and bottom sides, with the sides being polished. I'm quite disappointed to notice that this clasp only has 2 holes for micro adjustments. This makes it a luck of the draw if you're able to get the perfect fit or not. The stamped push button clasp has a fold over lock signed with the Seiko logo. The end links are so-called female end links, which makes the bracelet sit more nicely even on smaller wrists. As you might expect, with a folded link bracelet, the sound of it reminds you that the links are folded indeed. This one does even make some slight noises while being worn on the wrist. Seiko is quite known for doing the most substantial cost cutting on their bracelets, and that's fine by me. You can always replace it if you don't like it, and to be honest, I've still been very happy with the bracelet in daily use. The quite classically styled military dial is protected by a domed hardlex crystal, which gives some nice distortions when looked at from an angle. Again, a bit of a refined detail on a field watch in my opinion. A printed minute track is surrounding the dial with rectangular markers at each hour except for the 12 where the marker is triangular. The dial color is a matte charcoal finish. The pronounced Arabic hour markers look white at first glance, but they're actually finished in a metallic silver and lack lume entirely. That's also somewhat unexpected and maybe a more refined look than you might expect on a field watch. And to accompany the applied metallic numerals there are smaller printed 24-hour clock markings inward from the larger numbers. In America I think that's called military time, but at least in Finland it's just the normal way to reference the time. I personally don't think it's necessary to have those numerals on the dial, but at least Seiko did it in a nice way that they are quite discreet with that grey/light brown colored paint. I think the metallic colored numerals somewhat remind me of the Interstellar Hamilton watch worn by Cooper. At the 3 o'clock there's a very typical day and date window for Seikos. It's nicely matching the dial color with the black background and white details with red text for Sunday. I think the white framing is a nice detail, although I'm sure that will divide opinions among people. Apart from that, there's the new Seiko 5 branding at the 12 o'clock and a touch of refinement at the 6 with the cursive automatic text written there. The sword-styled hands have a nice brushed finish that lights up nicely in the light. The hour hand is segmented to help tell it apart from the minutes hand, which is helpful especially in darker environments. Due to the lack of lume on the numerals, I feel that it's somewhat weakly lumed. The small indices make it legible enough in the dark, but it's nothing extra. I'd say it's properly lumed, but for Seiko it's a bit underwhelming, as they are usually very nicely lumed. Now to compare the SRPG27 with some other watches size-wise. With its 39mm diameter, this Seiko is just the right size for my 6.5-inch wrist, and it's a very similar size to the watches I usually wear, like the SIN 556A and the Seiko SARB 033. Of course it will wear a little bit smaller than these slightly larger divers, but then again the smaller case of the SRPG27 is balanced by the larger dial that field watches have in comparison with divers. That being said, the fit on the wrist is still smaller, as it should be. Having such a sterile design is a massive benefit when it comes to pairing with different straps, and this is where the little Seiko 5 really shines. I was basically unable to find a single strap in my collection that wouldn't look good on this watch. It works great with these NATO straps, and I feel that they really complement the military feel of this watch. It also looks great on various leather straps, both brown and black, but maybe black is more suitable with such a dark dial. I really like it on this canvas strap and also the similarly colored sailcloth strap. This kind of sand color is a great match for the charcoal dial of the Seiko. Then you can of course go summer mode with either a perlon strap or a rubber strap. But that pretty much sums it up for this review. Just a quick recap on the main points about this SRPG27. You're getting a 100 meters water resistant field watch with a hacking and hand winding in-house movement. Unfortunately, you don't get a sapphire crystal, which is a bit of a bummer, but you do get a nicely domed hardlex crystal, which I think adds some personality to the watch. You get quite a budget bracelet with a disappointing amount of micro adjustments and a bit of a jingle jangle concert, but overall nice looks. You get a very proportionately pleasing package that goes perfectly with a vast variety of different wrist sizes. A size that is very friendly with smaller wrists like my 6.5-inch wrist, but also works with larger wrists. You get a very versatile design that goes well with pretty much any strap you can find. This makes the watch a perfect watch for a smaller collection, and I think it's a great alternative for a first watch or an only watch. You can dress it up for pretty much any occasion and also dress it down for everyday use. And this is what you get for your, let's say, $240 give or take. I'm sure some discounts will bring the price close to 200 euros or dollars. For the price, it's a really compelling package, and in the field style I think it's quite tough to beat. Definitely one of the best packages out there when you look at versatility and function. If you double the budget, it's a different story, and you can start thinking about a Hamilton khaki, for example. If you're interested, check out my affiliate links in the description below. If you buy anything via those links, it really helps the channel out. But that's it for this review. Hope you found it useful. Please leave a comment and do like and subscribe. Also check me out on Instagram at Nordic Watch Channel. I'm happy to answer any questions in the comment section, and I try to answer every comment. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video.